Draft was extremely fun. That first round was crazy. A
Yeah,
lot of
no,
guys,
amazing.
lot of second round talent going in the first round. There was even a guy in the third round that I had a slot in the third round who went in the first round. I think the Lions reached for a lot of
Yeah,
guys.
I
Lions
I
reached
agree.
for a lot of guys.
I was gonna ask you if there was a team that you thought didn't have that good of a draft. The Lions are up there on my board. I didn't understand their first round at all. Chicago too. I did not understand. I thought that the tackle out of Northwestern was a lock for for the Bears at 9. They obviously decided to go they were right, the right tackle
He
Tennessee.
was
Didn't understand that one that much.
he,
Um,
but he was still in the top four left tackles. He was just the last one.
yeah,
So for me, it's if that's who they preferred, if that's who they thought, if that's who they think is their best option, I'm okay with it because he was still in that top tier group. Yeah, he was my number four out of those top four, but it was still how many times have we said, have has there been a group of five tackles or a group, the
yeah.
top five, and someone takes the third first or someone takes the fourth first, and then it ends up working out. So that's not. I'm not gonna to knock them for that. If that's who they really liked, it might pan out, or they might be kicking themselves in the ass next year. We never
I
know.
I would have gave. I'm shocked Jackson Smith and Jigba fell to 20. I thought that was a phenomenal pick by Seattle. There was a small inkling of me that thought maybe Howie Roseman would get him at 10 and just load up on offense. I would have gave real consideration to it if I was Chicago at 9. I mean, you need to get real playmakers for Justin Fields. I thought Tennessee even at 11, they don't really have a lot of weapons on the outside. Um, Tell you the other thing too, I was shocked, and I did not have a real high grade on on our man Will Levis, but the fact that he fell to 33, I thought Tennessee was going to have to trade up. In the one mock draft I did, I had Tennessee trading up with Arizona at 3 and going to get Will Levis because I thought that they were going to panic. I thought all along Indianapolis like Anthony Richardson over Levis, so I thought Tennessee was going to think that Indianapolis liked Levis and was going to have to move up. Just incredible to me the way this draft sort of fell, and then obviously Hendon Hooker going to Detroit, able to learn under Jared Goff. I really like his potential, and I think around that team, around that system, he's got a real chance. So very interesting draft. It's going to be really hard, I think, to sort of grade these guys. There was a lot of good quarterbacks too that went late. Obviously, Max Duggan, the quarterback out of TCU, going to the Chargers. We mentioned Browns and Eagles both picking up a couple quarterbacks. Um,
Stetson Bennett.
Denton Bennett going to the Rams in the fourth
Mhm.
round. I know some thought he was going to be a seventh round pick. He ended up going in the fourth round. Belichick got a quarterback out of Louisville. Looks like a smaller version out of Lamar Jackson,
Mhm.
undrafted, and they end up taking a kicker and a punter. Like, I mean, just a crazy weekend.
Also, got to say, love the Browns picking up Ronnie Hickman, safety from Ohio
Yes,
State,
undrafted,
undrafted.
and Eagles, by the way, picked up a corner out of Alabama, who this year at the start of Mel Kiper's very early 2023 NFL mock draft was a top 10 pick.
I will say the one more team I'm not gonna talk about all their drafts, but I like Seattle in round one.
Yeah.
They moved back a couple of times, I believe, picked up some more draft capital. But they got uh no, I think, no, maybe they didn't move back,
No,
but
they didn't move back. They got the corner out of Illinois at
they
5.
got
They got Devin
Witherspoon,
Witherspoon and then Jackson
who
Smith and Jigba.
I had as my number one. I know Kuiper and McShay both had
Gonzalez,
Gonzalez at
who
one.
I really liked. I was surprised he
I
dropped all the way to New England.
I had Witherspoon at one. And so for them to get Witherspoon and to get Jigba, because Tyler Lockett's 32, I
Yeah,
believe, so they're gonna need to upgrade him soon. But you still got DK Metcalf, and if you got DK, you got Jigba still. You're looking pretty for Geno Smith. They did a really good job getting him another weapon
yeah.
and a really good job. That defense that looked phenomenal last year. got them another cornerback. So
That was the team that I thought, because I thought they needed more pass rush than corner. I thought Jalen Carter was going to be picked there by Seattle, and then I thought Arizona might have taken a chance with them when they moved back up. Obviously, trading down from 3, they moved back up against the Lions at 6, and I thought that they were taking them. They ended up obviously going with Paris Johnson, who Kyler Murray apparently campaigned for. So it's going to be
he's a
very interesting to me.
he's a very good left tackle.
Yes, very good left tackle. Arizona, I was thinking about this the other day. There's not a lot of teams that we are writing in stone saying that they're for sure gonna stink next year. I think if Kyler Murray is not back by about November, Arizona might be that team that just says, "Hey, we got 2 first-round picks next year. What's going in the tank? Let's see."
Hey,
Obviously, you got
we,
the 2 quarterbacks next year, in the draft. So, what
yeah.
do they decide to do?
Well, they got two. As I said, they got 2 1s, 2 2s, 3 3s, 2 4s, I think 2 5s. I mean that, and I think there's a compensatory pick I'm missing somewhere in there.
Yeah,
I mean, they potentially could have like 13, 14 picks in the draft next season. So
I mean, I was going through every team this morning just in my head. I don't see in the AFC. I don't see a bad team. I mean, Houston's going to win games next year. They just are. Indy next year is going to
well,
win games,
Houston
and
didn't the Cardinals get Houston's pick?
yeah, they did.
Yeah, so Houston better win because if they go bad again, Cardinals might have the first and second pick in the draft.
Well, Houston also has the Browns pick as well, so they do have a first-round pick. They just don't have their own now. Uh,
Right.
then
But
obviously
but
went
there
to
but
Arizona.
the pick that the Cardinals have is not the Browns pick.
Yeah,
It's
but
it's the
right.
Houston.
But
So
if you're Houston, I mean, if you're bad again, right? I mean, you wouldn't take CJ Stroud and then go for Drake or Caleb Williams from USC. I wouldn't
well,
think so.
but it wouldn't matter because you would need the Browns to stink.
Right.
Right. But you're not gonna do that. What I'm saying is if Arizona stinks and Houston stinks again, Arizona could have like 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I mean, they could literally go and they can get Caleb Williams from USC and then Marvin Harrison from
From Ohio State.
Ohio
Yeah.
State, and you're like, okay,
I
well here comes the start, and then in round 2,
yeah.
go for
I
defense.
I mean that could be their plan, but I mean if you look at the AFC, I mean Tennessee to me is the one team where I'm like, they have Rabel, they're gonna win games, but they are not explosive offensively at all. Derrick Henry, there was a lot of rumors surrounding him. He could have been traded during the draft. He was not traded. I think that and again, could Will Levis be the answer? I don't think he is. I did not love him.
And
And so
he puts mayo in his coffee. You can't trust a guy
yeah,
who does that.
no, I mean I think Joey, and I said this, it's crazy to me. You have guys like Mel Kiper and these draft scouts that study tape for hours and hours and hours. And they get things more wrong than I do. And I watch the guy for 10 plays. I'll tell you if he's going to work or not most of the time.
Well, so the problem is that you got these guys that go to the combine and they put up ridiculous numbers, and they go from a fifth round pick to a potential second or third round pick. The combine to me is one of the biggest loads of shit in the
You know what?
entire.
I agree. And I'm not even big on pro days either. Watching guys throw in t-shirts and shorts, to me, it doesn't move the needle. The combine is a big crapshoot to me.
I'm
The, o-
I, I'm
the
okay
only
with
thing that
pro
go
days.
ahead.
I'm okay with pro days for quarterbacks because they can show you their accuracy.
Okay, no,
Even
makes
even
sense.
even if it's scripted, they still have to put the ball where it needs to be
Yep.
every single throw. I am okay with that for quarterbacks. For everyone else, I don't care how fast my left tackle can run. I care if he's a big, bad,
For
angry son of
more.
a
Yep.
bitch who can move bodies. That's what I care about. I don't care about how high my defensive tackle can jump. I
I
care.
know.
It's that the draft is so stupid in that regard that it moves people up so high. You want to know how you evaluate talent? Watch them on the field. But
Yeah.
then don't look at a player who had 13 sacks, but 5 of those sacks came against a team that was, that's basically a
A
D2
D2
school.
or a D3. Oh, yeah. Oh, my
Look at
webcam just fell off.
what was that?
There we go. My webcam just fell off. Here we go. We're
There
back.
we go. Look at the games that he plays and get, that these players play against good teams, and that's why you look at Dewan Jones, you look at Luke, Whippler from Ohio
Ohio
State, and you
State.
could say those were good picks because look at how they blocked against Georgia.
Yes.
That's where you look at these guys and go, holy crap, these guys really did a number against the best team in the nation. I mean, I blame our defense for losing it. Now I don't blame our offensive line one bit.
So
Those are the
no,
games you have to look at.
but I mean, if you go through it, like I don't know. I mean, the NFC feels like it's gonna be bad, but I think Washington can win games. Obviously, out west, I think Arizona probably the one team that's gonna stink. North, everybody's gonna be pretty good. I think the Bears are gonna win some games next year. South, like you know, it's a bad division, but like Derek Carr is going to make the Saints better. Bryce Young is going to win games for the Panthers. Like Desmond Ritter in Atlanta, I don't know how good
Oh, bro,
Atlanta is going to be, but
bro,
they won 7 games last year.
Carolina,
Like
Carolina's going to be terrible again this year.
you, so you think Carolina is going to be terrible again? Because I don't. I think Carolina they
Who is
got
Bryce Young going to throw to?
they got DJ Chark, they got Adam Thielen, they got Hayden Hurst, Miles Sanders are out of the backfield. Like they have pieces that you can
Adam
build on.
Adam Thielen showed his age last year. He's going to be 33 years old. DJ Chark is a number 3 receiver at best. He flashes at times, but he's not. He's going to get locked down. I'm sorry, your best receiver you traded to the Bears, and
Can I say this though? The Giants last year won 9 games with no receivers.
the
Like
Giants had receivers, but they
they
were
had
playing.
none. They
They,
had none.
they had Slayton.
Who to me is basically the same as a Chark. Like he to me is a three. Slayton to me is a three.
I'd say Slayton is more of a 2.
Okay.
Slayton is definitely a 2. I mean, he's tall. He's got a high. He can go up and get 50-50 balls. He's got a big catch radius. Chark is just fast, but Chark to me is a slot receiver.
Okay.
So, but so Thielen. And when you got 2 receivers like that, they're very easy to lock down, especially when you have a good defense who's going to, not even a good, but just a solid defense who can game plan for that. So I think that, I mean, the Panthers are obviously going to win some games, but I'm not, I would say I'd pick the under. I'd say 4 or less.
Was it the way I look at it is, and I know that they had DJ Moore last year. They still won 7 games last year, and they were an awful offensive team outside of DJ Moore. Like, and
Well,
he
yeah,
didn't
I
even
mean,
have that good of a year.
DJ Moore was their leading receiver.
He's good. Yeah, no, I understand that he was their leading receiver, but I mean he was playing with Sam Darnold and
Baker
Baker
Mayfield.
and
Yeah,
whoever else they had a quarterback.
Look who he
Bryce
had.
Young's better than all those guys, even if they don't have DJ Moore.
Right, but look at who he had throwing to him. He had, like you just said, you had Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield who could barely throw the ball throwing to him.
I mean, to me, it's just interesting because I think a lot of people are down on Tampa. Like, I think Baker and Tampa sort of works.
It
And
does.
I
It
said
really
it,
does. But
like
that's because you have Mike Evans is the
Mike
type of
Evans and
receiver.
Chris Godwin. Like,
Right. Those receivers are receivers who can make quarterbacks look good. Whereas some quarterbacks can make receivers look good, like an Aaron Rodgers can make a lot of receivers look really good. But then there's some teams where the receivers make the quarterback look good. And I think Evans and Godwin are guys who are going to really help make Baker Mayfield look good because they're going to be able to go up and get those balls that Baker might not be able to put right on the money.
I am so excited for May 11th when the schedule comes out. It's not even funny. And I have always said this. A lot of people think the NFL schedule does not matter. It absolutely matters. It is
100%.
it matters when you play a team, especially if they're outdoors, and again, if they have new players, new coaches, new acquisitions, and late in the season, I always like having the last game of the year at home. I always like having my home games later in the year, especially as a cold weather team outdoors. And I'm very interested. I do think the NFL is smart. They would book Philly at Kansas City opening night, rematch of the Super Bowl in Kansas City. Hell of a way to kick off the season.
I want them to book the Philly and Kansas City against the Browns. Bring the Kelsey boys home. I know it's probably going to be 2 losses for the Browns, but
now the Browns are in the Hall of Fame game this year against the Jets. We know Aaron Rodgers will not play in that Hall of Fame game.
we also know
who
that
knows?
Deshaun's not playing in that game either.
Who knows? I mean, last year Josh Jacobs played in the freaking Hall of Fame game for the Raiders. I mean, at this point, we don't know what's going to happen. I will say this. I was going through the AFC East and the AFC as a whole. So think about this. You have Josh Allen, you have Patrick Mahomes, you have Trevor Lawrence, you have Justin Herbert, you have Deshaun Watson, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have Lamar Jackson, you have Tua, you have Russell Wilson. Like a couple of these guys.
Wait. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Did I forgot about Joe Burrow.
You forgot Lamar Jackson too.
No, I said Lamar, I believe.
I didn't hear it.
But okay, so you have all those guys, and you have the young kids like Kenny Pickett and Mac Jones too. Like a lot of these teams are not going to make the playoffs. I think the Jets took a huge risk. I'm not even sure if the Jets are a playoff team next year. I'm not sure.
It's gonna. I mean, I don't. They showed a lot of improvement this year on the defensive side of the ball, obviously, and now, now you got Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball. It's gonna be hard
to me, at best, they are third best in their division. I think they're better than New England. I don't think that they are better than Miami. Miami added Jalen Ramsey. People forget about that.
But Jalen Ramsey's getting up there though.
Their secondary is nasty. It all depends on if Tua is healthy. If Tua is healthy, and listen, when Tua was with Brian Flores, he looked like a complete bust. 1 year with Mike McDaniel, he literally had top 5 quarterback numbers last year when he was healthy.
Yeah, but he also has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
He does, but this is the new NFL. You get a quarterback with a young, bright, either offensive coordinator if you have a defensive head coach, or preferably an offensive head coach in today's NFL. You go and you get a massive amount of weapons, and you try to outscore people. This old adage of we need to build and defense wins championships. Well, you need to go get the quarterback, but you can have, in my opinion, in the NFL, in today's world, you can have between a top 10 and a top 15 defense and have a top 5 offense and still go win the Super Bowl. Buffalo, Cincinnati, Kansas City, they realize they're not stopping each other. That's why Buffalo went out and got the best tight end in the draft. He's going to be an absolute stud in Dalton Kincaid out of Utah in the first round to give Josh Allen another weapon when they really didn't even need it.
Yeah, Knox is a real good tight end as it is, but they went out and got themselves a number 1 tight end in the draft. So I mean, it's going to be a crazy year. It's going to be extremely fun. I can't wait for it to start. But I'm going to enjoy baseball during the summer. I'm going to enjoy a little break from the Cavaliers, so I can regroup and not get angry anymore. And we'll start hearing more about the NFL coming up as OTAs and stuff start.
Do you like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.